All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a fun fact from the world of biology that sounds completely made up, but it's 100% true. And it might just change how you look at your next shrimp cocktail. So, let's kick things off with a quick question. You know where your heart is, right? But a shrimp, where is its heart located? You might have a guess, but I promise you, nature has a pretty wild surprise waiting for us. And there it is, in its head. That's right. If you guessed its head, you nailed it. It's not in its chest, not down in its body. It's literally in its head. Sounds like a setup for a bad joke, doesn't it? But nope, it's just biology. So a head-bound heart. This might sound like something out of a fantasy story, right? But it's actually an incredible piece of evolutionary engineering. This isn't just some weird quirk. It's a feature that has been fine-tuned over millions and millions of years. Yeah, and let's be super clear about this. This isn't some kind of anatomical mistake or accident. It is a finely tuned adaptation, a solution that's been perfected for the shrimp's survival. So the big question is, how on earth is that even possible? Okay, so let's get into the mechanics of it. The armored cockpit. How does this work? I mean, how do you cram a heart into a head, right? Well, it all starts with the shrimp's unique body plan, which, as you'll see, is nothing like ours. The key to this whole puzzle is one word: cephalothorax. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. See, we have a head and then a chest, right? Two separate things. Shrimp don't. Their head and thorax are fused together into one single, tough, shielded segment. Think of it like an armored command center for the whole operation. And this gets to a really fundamental difference between us and them. You and I, we have an endoskeleton. Our bones are on the inside. But a shrimp? It's got an exoskeleton. It literally wears its skeleton on the outside, kind of like a built-in suit of armor. And that cephalothorax we just talked about, that's the most heavily armored part of the whole suit. And once you get that, suddenly it all clicks into place, right? This command center, the cephalothorax, is where you'd want to put all your most important stuff. The heart, the stomach, a lot of the nervous system, it's all packed into the most secure, protected location possible. The circulatory system itself is also super different and honestly pretty ingenious. The heart's job is to pump this fluid called hemolymph. That's kind of like their version of blood. But here's the cool part. Instead of a complicated network of veins and arteries like we have, it's an open system. The heart just pumps the fluid and it flows freely all around the organs. It's incredibly direct and efficient. All right, so now we know how it's possible. But that leads to the even bigger question: why? Why is this a good design? I mean, it sounds risky, right? Putting all your eggs, or in this case, organs, in one basket. Well, it turns out there are a couple of huge advantages. First, you get maximum protection. All the vital stuff is tucked away inside the most heavily armored part of the body. Makes sense. But second, and this is brilliant, it leaves the entire back half of the shrimp, its abdomen, free to be nothing but pure muscle. And that muscle powers that super fast tail flick they use to zip away from predators. And it gets even better when you think about efficiency. Where are the shrimp's eyes and antenna? Also in the head, right? So by putting the heart rate there, you get this incredible chain reaction. Oxygen and nutrients get delivered almost instantly to all the sensory organs. The result? Super fast reaction times. It's just a slick design. And you don't have to take my word for it. The proof is everywhere. We're not talking about just one weird type of shrimp here. There are thousands of shrimp species, and they all share this basic design. You can find them in nearly every marine environment, every freshwater environment, from the deepest parts of the ocean to a local creek. This body plan is a massive success. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does this little shrimp and its weird heart teach us? Well, it actually points to a much bigger, more profound lesson about how we look at the natural world. There's a great quote about this that really hits the nail on the head. It says, "Their unusual traits are not flaws, but finely tuned solutions crafted by time, environment, and necessity. What looks bizarre to us is, for the shrimp, the absolute perfect solution for survival. It's a fantastic reminder that nature's ingenuity comes in all shapes and sizes." And really, it's a good reminder for us to check our own assumptions. It's so easy to think of our own human body plan as the normal one, the default. But it's not. Life on this planet is just unbelievably diverse, and the shrimp is a perfect example that there are countless different ways to be successful. So here's the final thought.
The next time you see something in nature that just seems weird, try to flip the question. Instead of asking, why is that so strange? Ask yourself, okay, what problem does this solve? What makes this design so brilliant? Because I guarantee if you look close enough, you'll almost always find an answer.